Welcome,
Welcome.
everybody. Dan's looking down, so I'm like, oh no, Dan, stay. Look, we're live. We're live once again. It is Tuesday, and we are live, everybody, because that's what we do here inside the booth.
And we are live. It's no longer the holidays.
This is true. This is true. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that, and we're able to watch the show at your own pace, at your own time. But tonight, it's the new year, and well, I mean, it's been the new year for a couple of days now, right? But happy new year to that anyway. But we've got something special planned for tonight. We have done fan film reviews before on this channel. However, we've never known the creator. I'm confused. What's happening?
I can't see myself.
I can't see you either.
Oh no! All right, hang on. I guess say something and I'll be back.
Fix it, Dan. So we are reviewing a fan film from one of our YouTube colleagues here on the interweb. It's called Fallen Jedi by Vader Reviews. And if you haven't checked out his channel, it's super fun. You should absolutely do that. Wonderful guy over there. I mean, for a Dark Lord of the Sith, am I right? But his link is down in the description box below. We are going to do our dead level best. Okay, and that might not be much, but we're going to try to do our dead level best to make this a spoiler-free review so that you can go check out Vader's film for yourself, and we'd love for you to leave him some comments about that, as well as for us. Let us know if you've already seen it. Have you been following him? Do you know him? Have you followed him? Let us know in the comment section. We'd like to know. And thank you, everybody that showed up so far. We see you. We appreciate you. Who doesn't love Star Wars, right? So it's really awesome.
Oh, Star Wars is good.
I mean, not all Star Wars, that's right. Like, kind of like our description says, like, fan films, I feel like, are going to be so much better than Disney Star Wars, just because fan films are going to try to stick to the lore as much as possible, or creating their own lore as far as people that are unknown, but still falling within George Lucas's vision. So we're going to, maybe that'll be a bonus question, Dan. I didn't even think about that. Maybe at the end of this segment, we can be like, do we feel like this was more in George Lucas's vein or more in Disney's vein, or was it in a whole nother vein altogether?
That's it.
We'll find out. Are we
like Seth Care Bear says, he's already halfway through it. It's amazing. And he's impressed with their Vader. Yes.
Oh, yes.
If you don't know, Vader Reviews is actually a YouTube channel that reviews things as Darth Vader.
Yes, I have already told him that, in fact.
Oh, did you already say that?
I did.
Mr. Seth Care Bear, listen to Tabitha.
Right. That's right. Listen to Tabitha. No, these are the droids you're looking for. I've got all my swag. I've got the darkness, the dark side in my background. I've got all my Grogus. I've even got some of my Darth Vader characters lit up back here. I'm wearing Grogu. I've got my Rebellion shirt on. Like, let's talk some Star Wars fan films, man.
Look at what I got.
Ooh, yeah, no, mine is just always remember you're braver than you think and all this kind of mess, on my Tumblr.
And then the other side is another bunch of different faces.
The different faces of Vader. Man, I didn't even think to bring out one of my Star Wars mugs. Darn it, Tabitha, get it together.
Get it together. What's your problem?
We're practically professional YouTubers at this point, and I can't even remember a mug with Star Wars on it. Shameful. But if you guys are new here, be sure to hit the like button, even if you're not new. And if you're not sure what we're doing, we're, of course, reviewing this movie, and we typically do the 5 categories.
Five.
And what would those 5
together?
We don't have, again, professionals. We're working on it. But
there's the plot, there's the
acting,
and then
cinematography, the music score, and of course, last but not least, what separates us from the best, whatever is the allegory. I'm like, did I just put us down? Did I just reprimand? Anyway, but yeah, so we're going to go by category.
You did. You said separates us from the best.
Yeah, because we're better. There we go. I saved it.
I got you. I think I understood what you were saying.
That's what I was trying to say, and I don't think I came across. But anyway, we're going to review this movie and all of our other movies by these categories, and we use a point system. Each one gets either a point, half a point, or no points, and then we tally it up and let you know all the way at the end. What does Inside the Booth really think of Fallen Jedi? You ready, Dan?
Sure. Yeah,
let's go. So we start off with the
plot.
Zip plot.
The writing, the plot. I think the plot was pretty decent. You know, I like the idea of a Jedi gone kind of mad and then come back. I mean, it's been done, but at the same time, you know, you haven't seen it as a. I don't know. Have you seen it as a Jedi? I mean, you got Darth Vader who is good, then bad, then good at the end. But this is more of like one character. He kind of stays the same look throughout the movie, where he like
a little bit,
his thoughts start to go bad, and then he just kind of comes back from it. You know,
like I said, this is gonna be really tough to do without spoiling it. So you said his appearance, and I'm like, it does change, but I can't say how it changes.
Yeah.
That would be wrong. But so
my plot didn't spoil anything, did it? Oh
no.
Are you sure?
No. I don't think so.
I just said the whole movie. No,
not really. So I'm trying to, because it's not on IMDb, of course. I'm trying to find the synopsis for it. On Vader Reviews channel, it says Fallen Jedi, the very first Star Wars fan film by Vader Reviews and Obro Studios, set between the events of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Star Wars Fallen Jedi tells the story of Jedi Master Vong Zar and his quest for revenge against Darth Vader for the destruction of the Jedi Order. Darth Vader, mourning the loss of Padme, is on a mission to hunt down and destroy the last remaining Jedi who survive Order 66. Yes. So I thought maybe that would help, because I myself was struggling with how I was going to word the plot, since it's not something I'm quite familiar with. But
right. Sith Care Bear says I totally
you
ruined it. He's unsubscribing.
Yeah, I tried to talk to Dan before the show, but look, he went and ruined it. No,
I'm trying to stick to no spoilers, but it's going to be tough.
Right. We're going to have to monitor ourselves. I'll just give you like a little winky face and be like, Dan,
you're doing too much. Don't talk so much.
So the plot, like we said, so it's a Jedi that, he is struggling. Darth Vader is still struggling. So Vader, it seems like Vader's still kind of in this in-between of Anakin and Vader. Right. So it's just dying to his old self. But that's really not the crux of the show necessarily, the movie itself, but it's part of it, which
part of it,
is good. And it's another story, kind of like Dan said. There are a lot of stories out there where it is the same old Jedi struggles with battling the dark side of the Force, giving into anger, giving into the emotions and the fear and the things like that. But we are introduced to, for some new characters. To be honest, I don't know all of the lore of Star Wars, so I don't know if all of these are original characters, or if some of them, besides Vader, of course, or if some of them created by themselves. I do not know. But I will say that the plot for me, I love, it's got the classic, this is stuff that, is small potatoes here, but it's got the classic Star Wars opening, right? So that already gets you in the feels.
Cool. It was cool. And it panned down onto a planet like, the originals do. So that was nice.
Yes, exactly. So I don't think that would be like a soft spoiler right there. It just, I think it's
sorry.
No. I think that's okay. I think we'll be cool with that. Like it right away, the show or the movie opens up and gives you some classics. We'll just put it this way: gives you some classic Star Wars vibes, and and then there's like instant action, right? This movie has quite a bit of action in it. Throughout the whole film.
There's good action. Yeah, definitely. Good lightsaber fight.
Yeah, they did a great job with the lightsabers. Of course, gotta have some lightsabers in there.
That's
There was, this might go under, well, I guess this would probably go under acting, so let me save that. But I personally think that the story, and hopefully, if Vader reviews, if you're watching this, or if you guys are a fan of Vader and stuff, I'm gonna try to be honest about this, right? I'm not trying to put down anybody. I applaud the work that went into this film,
yeah, he did a good
the
job.
attempt and everything. And look, we're all here to help one another. That's why we encourage you, no matter what we say here, please be sure to go check out the video yourself to make the determination, because we all know we have different preferences. And
we're critics basically, so
right, we're movie critics, but we're not here to be mean, right? Yeah. So for me, the story, the premise was there, but I did feel, so I struggled a little bit with some of the pacing of this film. Like, I really enjoyed the beginning, and it's like, and again, for people, I don't know what their background is in film making, but I would assume that the folks that made it have experience. It's obvious they have experience, but I would say we're not Steven Spielberg over there, but there were some really incredible moments to the story, especially in the beginning. The beginning had me really captivated and very intrigued, but there were a couple of moments where I was like, but again, that we are trained to watch movies a certain way, and so if it detours out of the norm, it seems bizarre, a little bit peculiar, maybe even bad. I won't say that so much. I want to give a lot of grace, because hey, we're trying our hardest out here. But I will say, for me, some of the pacing was a little slow, but at the same time, I got the sense where they were trying to focus a lot on the story, especially at the beginning, where they weren't trying to rush it, but it was like trying to flesh out the story. And trying to be careful not to go too fast, not to go too slow. But there were some moments throughout the film, particularly in the middle.
Well, if you think about it, George Lucas had a lot of slow pacing issues too. So
I don't think so. Not for me. See, maybe I missed that with George Lucas's. And again, we're accustomed to a certain thing, and because Star Wars has been around for so long, I don't have a problem with any of the pacing in the first one. But you bring up a good point. So maybe that's something that they were trying to emulate, and I just didn't see it. So that's but in the middle, I will say, like, very much so in the middle, there was a long period of this particular scene. Okay. Very important scene, but for me, honestly, took a very long time to get to the point. Maybe Dan felt differently. So when our main people were in the forest, in the middle of the movie, duking it out. That for me took a really long time to get to the point. It's one of those things where it's like they were probably trying to flesh out the story, but I was just like, this is a really long scene. And when I say long, I meant like it went on for minutes on end.
But the duel scene was cool.
This is the scene I'm talking about. So I myself, I struggle here. And again, I want to be completely honest. I applaud the,
go ahead.
like, so I just say, for me, the plot, I love the beginning, but the rest of it I struggled with a little bit. So honestly, I did get a little confused. I want to give it a half a point.
That's all right. That's all right. For me, the plot was, I thought it was decent. They portrayed it pretty well, and then that hope at the end. So yeah, I just, I'm not looking at the pacing so much for the plot as I would probably for cinematography or act. Yeah, mostly cinematography. So I'll give the plot in itself a point.
Okay,
it was decent for me. I enjoyed it.
And that's honestly, let everybody know, that's kind of where I struggle sometimes when we do our plot, our point system is like, pacing. Does that really go with the plot? Does that really go with the cinematography? Does that really go with the acting? It's kind of like, it's almost like it's its own subcategory, but I just kind of put it with the plot because that's the story and how they're telling it. So then our next Our next
What's up, Dennis from Black Market Outpost? How are
Dennis!
you?
Dude, you should totally check out this film. See what you think.
Yeah, you could. I mean, if they decide to make, like another fan film or something,
Yeah.
I think Dennis and the Room
Whitey
Builder
and
boys
Ada.
could
Yeah,
help.
they
You
should
know?
totally hire them. Man, I hope they continue making more. I think so.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So our next category would be.
He says, where can you see it?
In the description box down below, there's a link for Vader reviews.
There you go. Thank you.
Takes you right to the video.
I was gonna put it on the chat box, but I don't have anything open on my windows here, so
I'm on it, Dan. If you want to bring up the next category, I'm on.
All right, I will do that. Bringing up the next category. Will you do that? What to do? Acting.
Nice.
Oh yeah, acting. I thought the acting was pretty decent. I mean, there's a couple of spots where it could have used some improvement, but they were also in those spots using like green screen, things like that. So it's like it's hard to tell when you're a low budget film and you're acting toward like green screen stuff. So it's
that's a special skill set for sure.
It is, and they did decent. Especially, I did enjoy Vader's acting, of course.
Of course.
Vader was good. And like some of the things in the acting, like say when Vader was walking down those stairs, it's green screen. They didn't have a set of stairs on a green screen for him to walk down. So it's like, okay, they did their best, it was decent,
Yeah.
And that kind of teeters on cinematography too, a little bit, the acting and the because it's the green screen thing and it's their back but all in all, I think it was decent. I think they did a good job acting. I'll give them a point for that.
Give it a point in the acting.
Yeah. I would have liked to see a little bit more emotion though, like someone crying or that would have been fun to see.
It would have been fun to see people crying. Look at Dan, mean.
Like the main character cries over the death of his
no. His dog, his favorite house plant.
And then get mad, and then like get angry and like kind of like wipe it away and be like
crying over a Venus flytrap. That's right. His house plant, his favorite house plant died.
Sorry, I almost went into a spoiler there.
That's right. I got you back.
Fatal J. Hey. You already said hello because I saw you put it up there. Marie Weller. Who's that? Is that?
I'm not sure, but hello.
Do we know you? We know you, don't we? I don't remember.
They must know Sith Care Bear because they said hi. So for acting, like I have to start off with costumes. The makeup there's more than one Jedi in this because of the fact that Vader's hunting down the Jedi, and there's this one woman in particular. You'll see her face in our thumbnail if you clicked on that, and I just thought that is that they did such a great job, even with her hair and stuff like that. I believe it was a wig, but it had me questioning, and that to me is a sign of a good wig. At the end of it, I was pretty convinced that it was a wig, but at the beginning, I didn't know for sure. So I love that.
You really think it was a wig?
I do, but I could be wrong, and that again to me is a sign of a great wig. So, but her face paint was so fantastic. I love how it was. Nice, yeah. It was like a throwback.
It had like a Japanese vibe to it.
A little bit of a geisha girl, but like this, it's like this throwback to Queen Amidala with the lip makeup and everything like that, with the little stripe down the middle. And I thought she did a phenomenal job with what she with her part in the film. And then you mixing chemicals over there, Dan? I can hear water splash.
Yeah, I was just putting some water in my mug.
Oh, excellent. There's a recent subscriber from our Star Wars holiday special. I am so touched that was the episode you decided to subscribe to us for.
That's a good one. Thank you.
We're talking more Star Wars.
We appreciate that. We do talk a lot of Star Wars sometimes,
Hey, we're fans. But
Mm-hmm.
the main
Of course.
Jedi guy, I thought he was pretty good in most of the scenes, and then some
Yeah.
scenes. And again, this is coming from somebody who has like no acting experience. Although if you subscribe to Rookie
Besides
Critic,
this,
you know, I will be featured in one of his little films as Mrs. Well, I can't say who because it's not my place. But anyway,
who's this man? What? Huh?
Rookie Critic Jeff.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
he asked me to do some filming.
oh, cool.
So yeah, you'll see my great debut on the internet. But anyway, Vader, of course, fantastic. So I have to say, I'm gonna do like choreography along with the acting, like the fight scenes. What I loved about, because I mean, let's just be real, it's kind of hard to have Jedi and not fight. Vader's in here, so I don't think this is too
Mhm.
much of a spoiler. If it is, it's a soft spoiler that I don't think anybody's gonna get mad over. Is that there is fighting with Vader, and what I really liked is the fact
No
that
way.
there was not this over the top hey, Miss Smart Muses and Tyler the Redbeard.
Yeah. What's
So
up?
I love the fact that they didn't go over the top with the fighting scenes, right? Because number one,
Mhm.
if you really aren't trained professionally for months, it looks really corny. And secondly, I felt for me, it felt a lot more in the vein of A New Hope.
Right,
Because
where
this
it
is
wasn't
set
too
in between.
long.
It wasn't
Yeah.
too much. It wasn't extensive. It wasn't like Obi-Wan in The Phantom Menace, which totally makes sense because he was so young. This,
Right.
Vader has just been put back together. He is a little bit older now. Like, this totally makes sense. It fits. I loved that so much. He had the perfect cape twirl too. Vader did a
Hmm.
great job
That
of
was
that.
cool.
And yeah, I think overall, like with the stormtroopers and all the other characters that were in there, overall, I think they did a really great job, and I want to give it a point as well.
Nice. I did
More
like that
mhm.
lightsaber scene when they're
Lightsabers.
lightsabers. Lightsaber scene where they're fighting on the open field and then they go into the woods. That was cool because he's like smashing the
That
trees and
got me a little bit confused. They just kind of like disappeared.
yeah.
Maybe I blinked wrong or looked away or something like that. But I'm like, I was just as surprised as the Imperial officer.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Spoilers there.
going into the woods.
But yeah,
Fighting.
I really enjoyed the effort put into the
Yeah, it
costumes, the
was
makeup. Thank you, Vader
that was
Reviews and your
good.
team for not making the makeup on the girl and any of the other aliens weird. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
sometimes we try so hard to be unique
right.
that it ends
I
up
actually
being weird.
I actually after watching that one, another fan film came up, and there was some weird makeup on one of the other fan films I watched, and I was like, "Ooh, I
Uh,
don't know."
We're all
You know,
trying,
it
but
was more like a Star Trek looking thing instead of a Star
yes.
Wars
Okay,
looking, and I
see,
was like,
there is a
"Yeah,
huge difference between Star Wars costume and makeup and
hmm
Star Trek costume and makeup.
yes,
You will
yes,
not be finding those not Kardashian, Cardassians over in Star Wars. Like you just ain't gonna find it. So
yeah, exactly."
exactly, Sith Care Bear. I feel like they did a great job trying to
Words are
keep it
hard tonight,
minimal.
everybody.
For reals. I think it's the leftover allergies. Honestly, I was having a hard time forming words in my Sunday school lesson. Obviously on Sunday, I was just like words could not come out, and I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. But on to our next category: snaps for acting and costumes. Thank you,
Yes,
Vader. You did a great
thank you.
job with
That was
that.
great.
So our next
Perfect
is
too.
cinematography. No, I said that on purpose. I'm not
I
having a
know.
hard time with that words. Letting our audience know I know how to say cinematography. Dan's favorite.
My favorite. Now this unfortunately has to come
Oh.
to a you know, I did like some of it, you know. Of
Mm-hmm.
course he tried and then he put those filters on, you know, like from the After Effects and you see all the stuff. And it's nice. It's nice. But there's just, you know, some parts that are a little bit on the janky side and a little bit like, you know, it's just not quite there. And I understand because I'm
Yeah.
actually talking to him throughout a couple of years, trying to get him onto our show.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, him always telling me, "Oh, my computer crashed again, and it's
We all
so
been there.
old, and he's still trying to edit this movie." And that's like, oh man, I know the feeling. It's so tough to do stuff with old computers
Yes,
and
testify.
yeah, and especially when they keep breaking down and you're trying to do graphics and
Dude, if you have more
or
than
After
3 layers
Effects.
on a video and you're trying
Yeah.
to render it, like we're and like I understand.
Exactly. So I mean, I want to give a little grace to it, but at the same time, I have to. You kind of got to be a little bit on the honest side, and but
Exactly.
at the
That's where it's
same time,
hard
it's
because
just,
it's
oh man,
fan
yeah,
based or
fan
fan
based,
film
yeah,
versus Hollywood. And so that's where I'm trying to find it as well. It's like
right,
it's not going to be the same as if Hollywood produced it. So
right. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be,
yeah.
um, and with obviously with a newer computer, things could be a little smoother. Because I know the whole situation with After Effects and using an old computer and trying to do a little bit of graphics at the same time, and how janky it gets, and you're like, I hate it, But at the same time, he wanted to get it out and get it done. So I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely. It's
you
been
you
3
just got
years
to
in the
do it. Yeah,
making,
3
guys.
years in the
3
making. So he
years.
just had to finish it up,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess I'll have to give cinematography half a point. I,
Simply because things were a little janky or
yeah, a little janky,
okay.
and like the camera shake was sometimes a little bit too much. Um, I would say 0, but I have to give some credit because it's
Fan film.
a fan
Yeah.
film, and he definitely did his best and
Mm-hmm.
tried with what he had and everything. So that's why I'm giving it a half a point. Being gracious here.
I'm going to be a lot more generous because
Oh well,
I
good.
found it endearing. Some of the jittering and some of the
Hmm.
way some of the images did look like they were like the Star Destroyers and stuff like that. They kind of looked like they were cut and pasted and
Hmm.
then, made to move, like tracked. But
Hmm.
at the same time, I didn't mind that because they matched with the background really well. And like I said, it kind of is endearing to me because honestly, a lot of this movie really reminded me of like the Kyle Katarn computer game franchise or series.
Oh, okay.
And I love that because that was the era when they were trying to blend computer animation with humans in games. And I love that. I love it. It brings such nostalgia and comfort. It gives me all in the feels. So when I saw that, yeah, I saw some of the jitters and I'm like, ooh, okay. But at the same time, I liked it a lot. I didn't feel like the screen was trying to be like Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of feel. Like this reminded me more of computer games trying to go. And I loved that actually. And for me, I wasn't bothered by the shaky cam. It was definitely no Hunger Games, right? Like so that shoot, man, the first time I went back and watched Hunger Games after a couple of years, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need like a Tylenol. But I
Therapy
thought
501st. What's up?
I will say I'm going to continue to say this is that the beginning portion of this film is my favorite, and I feel like they had I don't know if they had more time or what the case might be, but I thought the transition scenes with the blaster fire and things like that, and when it affected different computer
Oh, and those
consoles,
sound effects. He did do a good job with the sound
I
effects.
thought that was
Those were
good.
definitely Star Wars sounds.
I don't know if this is like a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm going to say that J.J. Abrams would have been very proud of this movie. Lots of lens flares. Um, lots of lens flares. But I also give mad kudos. I wrote this down in different colored ink. Mad kudos to the camera avoidance in Vader's eyes. I was looking, okay? I was looking for the reflection of the camera crew in Vader's eyes there and I couldn't see it. And so for me, honestly, because I'm like having been a photographer and done some videography as well, like they were outside and clear as day you could see the trees and everything behind them. If you did see the camera, it must have been behind some blurry something because I could not see like you couldn't make it out. At least I
Right.
couldn't. And I just want to say, I'm sure that took a lot of thought and effort to put into that, because that, reflection captures everything. You can't.
Yeah. Especially that costume is so shiny.
Yeah. And so I thought that was great. And one of my favorite camera scenes or whatever indulgences there was in the forest when certain people were being chased, and this floating droid comes out of nowhere when the person is sitting
that
by the log. Yeah, and they're just hovering. It kind of gave me some Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings vibes with the Nazgul in the forests with the hobbits. And I thought, for me, creatively speaking, that was one of the most brilliant scenes, camera wise, functioning that was in there. So I honestly give cinematography a point. There was so much about it that I really liked. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Beautiful.
Yeah. So here we are.
Here we are. All right. Did you do a commercial when I was gone?
I did not, but we could absolutely do that now. Guys, if you would like to get your hands on some merch, you totally should. Check out the description box below. But if you want to see what our stuff looks like, we can do that for you.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's right, everybody. You can get yourself some awesome ITB merch in the gift shop. Check out www.insidetheboothtv or / what? How's that go?
TV.com/
Okay, I'm not quite as gifted at Dan. Normally I just say TV when Dan says it all, so I just decided to give it a try. Failed miserably, but that's okay. I'm still in training, still learning all this.
You did fine. You did fine.
Thank you. And of course, if you want to look for different ways to support the channel besides buying merch, let's just say you've got 1,001 hoodies from other YouTubers and you're like, no, I would love to support you guys. I just don't need another hoodie. I don't need another can cozy. I don't need another can opener. Well, then you can check us out on Patreon and support us for as little as $1 a month. Join our other patrons and be a part of the booth. Jump on inside the booth with us. And sometimes last year we had a special episode where we allowed our patrons to be a part of the show with us. And so we like to do special things for them here and there throughout the year, just to say thank you. You guys are much appreciated. And for sure, follow us also on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Look for us inside the booth. We will be there. On with the show.
That's right. Before we go on with the show, don't forget to forget to do this thing, the vanquish the
like button. And of course, subscribe if you're new here, and if you're not, thank you for coming back, and ring the notification bell so you get notified of it.
Want to ring the bell? All right. Ding, ding.
Of all our upcoming videos, that's right.
That's right. Ding, ding, everybody.
Ding, ding.
And don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. Tell your friends about us.
That's right. Give me that merchandise. You do it, Derpy. So, how Salty Nerd Highlights. Hello.
That's our good old friend R2. Shh, don't tell anyone. Spoiler.
Clips.
Yeah, clips. Oh, clips. That's it.
The clipper. So then, what would our next category be, sir?
Sorry, I'm just reading the other stuff here. Yeah, sorry. Our next category. Thanks, everybody. You're wonderful.
Yes, thank you for participating in the chat. Music.
Yes, definitely.
The score, the music.
The score. I
liked the music. There was a lot of Star Wars music in it, that's actually from the franchise itself. But I think it was beautifully placed wherever the music was, to really elevate the emotion, kind of carry the story a little bit along. I didn't feel distracted by it, and I was pleased by what I did notice. For me, though, it's more about the sound effects. I think it's just a really great job with the sound effects, for sure.
They did, for sure. And yeah, for sure they did. And my son said, man, that music is so dramatic. So obviously you guys did a good job with the music. The music definitely helped with some of the scenes that were a little bit, what Tabitha says, a little bit on the slower side. So,
so I give the music and mainly the sound effects, I give it a point.
Yeah. I'll give it a point. For sure.
For sure. So our final category would be the grand old wonderful can-do allegory. So if you guys don't know, allegories are all about trying to learn life lessons and things like that, morals, principles from stories that we can apply in our own life, kind of like Aesop's fables, right? The tortoise and the hare. What can we learn from that is that keep going, because you never know, you could be the one ahead. So in this one, I am curious to hear what Dan got out of this film. No father-son element here, so we got to go outside the box a little bit and find out what
the walk of life.
Yeah.
All right. So what I got out of it, generally, mostly, the walk of life with the main character is that even though you feel like you lose hope in life, there's always more hope to be had, even at the end of his journey. Yes. I'm trying to not be too spoilery. At the end of his journey there, he found hope again, and he sided with hope and love and forgiveness, because he even said he forgives. So, and that's what we need to do as Christians. We need to walk with hope, love, and forgiveness, no matter what comes our way.
It's true. It's true. So would you give the allegory? You said.
Yeah, points. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, guys, if you've been around the booth long enough, I can come up with some humdingers for allegories. Sometimes they speak to me immediately. And then there are some times where I've just got to sift it out of the air because it comes to me late, or I've just got nothing and I'm just trying to give you some good, wholesome entertainment value.
That's it. Celebrity Jeremy, what's up?
Hey.
Thanks for coming on. I think I owe Galaxy Garage something, don't I? I still owe him something.
Money. You probably owe him money.
Probably owe him money.
It's always money. Hey, it is well. So no pressure, Dan, but we've got Vader reviews in the chat. Now I'm sweating. Please don't.
You can. He says you can get into spoilers if you like, if that would help you talk about the movie.
Well, we didn't want to give away too many spoilers because we want to encourage people to go to your channel and check it out for themselves. You know, afraid that if we would just tell people,
we're doing decent here. We're doing decent.
Right. We've only spoiled
too much.
A few soft
a little
things.
Bits. Yeah.
But over, you know. So, I mean, like, we've got a pretty good point system going on. For me, the allegory here, because, like I had said earlier, with the plot, and we all know storytelling is not easy, okay?
No.
So, at the end, I will say I was a little bit confused with where people were. Let me put it that way. Where people ended up. And some of the conversations that were being had. Typically, I can, like the allegory, if I don't see it. And really the allegory, let's be real, guys, is that, okay, he doesn't mind spoilers himself. Great. Really, the allegory is just for our benefit. It really has nothing to do with the creators of the film. So take it with a grain of salt, guys.
I mean, if it does, though, that's good, too.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's our own special thing. I mean, nobody's subjected to having allegories for their films.
Right.
But I think because I was trying to piece together the ending a little bit more, maybe you understood. It seems like Dan understood it better than I did. Because like I said, there was that scene towards the middle there that
Kind of threw you off a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off, and I wasn't really able to focus on thinking about an allegory. There was a moment when, well, since Vader said that we could say a few things, I'll just try to be soft about it, is that you could tell the struggle that Vader was having. Because like we had said earlier, this is set between A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith. So naturally, he is trying to rid himself of the identity of Anakin Skywalker. And I will say, if I think about it, it didn't come to me easily, but something I think about in our current world and as it's been throughout history, that evil people are struggling with something internally. That does not give them the right to be heinous. But I did finish the film Sith Care Bear. I did finish the film. It just this isn't much of an allegory, but more of a personal burden or something that I've been awakened to. It's just learning to have more compassion towards people who are suffering, even the wackos, the weirdos, the perverts, all these things, is that ultimately Jesus wants them to come to him because he is their only salvation. And again, this does not excuse heinous behavior. There are consequences for your actions, and rightly so. Thank God for laws. But it does pull up my heartstrings when you think about Anakin and what he went through. Now, I'm going to be real with you. Darth Vader is my absolute favorite Star Wars character of all time. Anakin Skywalker, when he was a kid, when he was a teenager, not so much. Felt he was very whiny, very hormonal, whiny, arrogant person. But anyway, I love me some Vader. But thinking about the stuff that he went through and how twisted his mind became because he believed a lie, and then seeing him struggle in this film, it kind of hurts watching people struggle because of the hardships that they've endured in life and letting that consume them. So I guess if I had to draw an allegory, really just from the whole Star Wars franchise summed up into like this film, is just kind of like what Dan said, never give up hope on people, pray for them. And you just don't know what people are struggling with. Compassion is really important, and don't give in to the dark side. It's like there's a lot there, and but I can't say I have a sole point just for this movie, but it's just more like an overall reminder in the Star Wars franchise that people have a history and they weren't always bad.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just sad that something triggered people to become who they became. I think of people like Osama bin Laden, Adolf Hitler. They were geniuses in their own right. They're brilliant men. Just they took that gift and turned it into gruesome, horrific heinousness. And it's really sad. Really, really sad.
It is.
So I can't really give allegory a point because I didn't
I thought that was great. I'll give it for you.
Give it for me. Okay. I do always feel weird giving my own allegory a point unless I feel like it was on fire. Like my favorite allegory would be the one from Van Helsing. If you guys want to see a very spitfire, livid allegory, and you're very curious to know what I had to say about the movie Van Helsing starring Hugh Jackman, you're going to want to go on the page and go check that out. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but I was lit. Okay, I was lit up about that film, and my allegory was on point. And you need to hear this. Okay, everybody in America needs to hear my point. Okay. What are you? I did not say horrific anus. that I mean, I'm sure that's a thing. I do have, so that would be, our allegory. I did have time for a couple of notes just at the end that, one thing that I wish would have happened in this film was that the female Jedi, I found her the most interesting character, to be honest, because she was so different and new and everything. And I just wish that there was more of her in this. Right. So, Vader,
that would have been cool.
If you ever want to make another movie, maybe talk about this gal, because I was all in. Like, I wanted to know more about her and wish she had more screen time. So I'm just saying, I was a big fan. I thought she was fantastic. And the title, I'll just leave this here so that way there's a little bit of mystery. The title is fantastic because it's a little bit duplicit. I'll just leave it at that. Fancy word here for meaning dual meanings.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's right, Sith Care Bear. Most anuses are horrific. This is true. Yes. R2.
Especially Uranus.
Good thing we're talking sci-fi tonight. We're talking about the galaxies. Yep.
That's right. And Uranus up in the sky.
It's Tim. Was my Bay Ray in this film? She was not. This took place about, what, 40 some years before she was born? So. But absolutely, if you guys are curious to see this film, hopefully we have not detoured you, but maybe intrigued you. Check out the description box. We've got the link there for you. Go check out also Vader's other videos. Very entertaining movie reviews over there, and show some support. Hopefully you can also donate to the channel, so maybe he can gain some more funds to create more and more fan films. We need more independent artists. Look, a lot of us are not happy with what Disney is doing to Star Wars and a lot of other franchises. So yeah, let's support other people. I feel like there's a lot of potential here. Overall, I'm gonna give the points in a second, but overall, without knowing what the actual score is, I think this is worth watching. And
it is.
There's a lot of potential here, and I'm so glad that people are willing to try. Yes. So do your thing, Dan, as I count the points.
Do my thing. My thing would be saying hello to everybody, I guess, because even though we kind of mentioned everybody's names, not always too specific, right? Well, I think we got everybody. I don't know. So anyways, let's just say hello. Vader Reviews has been here. He was lurking for a while, and then, he also said we would have had the female Jedi in the film more, but she lived in a different state. So we had to direct by her Skype in front of a green screen.
But that's so cool, though, right? Isn't that like,
cool.
I love it. I hate that she wasn't close by for you to be able to utilize her more, but isn't technology awesome?
That is pretty nifty, neato. Director by Skype in front of a green screen. Okay,
that's fantastic.
How would you do that? You tell her to put a camera, and then obviously you're on the Skype thing.
Was that for like the fighter pilot scenes only, or maybe so they could just green screen?
Maybe it was the whole thing. Even when she did, she did do a little lightsaber action there.
Yeah. So happy with the choice of the yellow lightsaber, by the way.
That was kind of cool. So what's that? So the duel scene with her.
That couldn't have been Skype. Surely not.
Yeah, no.
For all of her scenes,
including her fight.
Her fight scene. Okay, well.
Wow. Anyways, we'll be interviewing the director on Sunday just to let everybody know.
That's going to be an exciting
that'll
show.
That'll be a question.
I mean, hopefully nobody will die.
Interesting.
Hopefully nobody ticks him off, and the Force hopefully won't be used. But that is fantastic.
DreadSaberPhil's here. What's up? He says face blue, smiling, something. I don't know. Whatever. Cool.
A lot of
sweet.
So, does everybody want to know what Inside the Booth gives Fallen Jedi fan film by Vader Reviews and was it Orgo Studios? What we gave it? It would be
9
out of 10 possible points. What could it possibly have gotten, Dan, from us?
I'm thinking either 8 or 9.
And you would be right. It got 9 out of 10 possible points. Ding, ding, applause.
Ding, ding. Better than we thought.
So,
Derby 501st says, just watched it, and yeah, you're right. It's better than the sequels.
Well, okay, so here's the bonus segment, Dan, that we
Yes,
just
let's
decided to
talk.
have. In your personal opinion, do you think that this movie has more George Lucas-esqueness to it? Does it kind of feel like it could tie in with the Disney style, or is it its own kind of thing?
I think a little bit of both, as in a little bit on its own thing, but at the same time, it does have a little bit of that George Lucas feel. Uh, you know, so yeah, that's what I would say. I think it's a little bit of both there. So
I would have to agree. Like I said, this reminds me a lot
yeah, I
of
definitely,
Lucas.
like you said earlier, I definitely did like that whole the droid that go that, and those droids we only saw in what, Hoth, right?
On
We only
Hoth, yeah.
we only saw them in Hoth. It was nice to see it somewhere else,
Yeah.
trying to find and scan.
Since they did scatter them, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, later on.
Which
But
is
yeah,
cool.
being able to see it. I like the fact that we didn't see, again, of course, this is, indie film. I don't know what their budget was. It's kind of difficult to introduce, new style of droids and new style of fighter pilot ships and stuff like that. So I'm glad that we didn't veer off and try to change
try to
too
change
much.
it. Yeah.
Um,
Kind of like what Disney's been doing, trying to change too much, get that Star Trek feel instead of a Star Wars feel. I hate it, man. But anyways, that's my opinion.
I do like this. Reminds me, like, again, it reminds me so much of LucasArts. The
Good night, R2, the salty. That's right, salty nerd highlights.
the computer game series, and for me, I really like that. So, but those were trying to also follow George Lucas. So
they were
kind of that beauty in simplicity, and so I'd have to agree and say that I think that this tried really, it tried really hard to stay towards George Lucas, but there were some elements to it that were, like you said, that were like its own, with the main Jedi and what he was doing and just the look. Again, there were some things that I found a little bit peculiar. I myself would have done differently, but it was fun. It was good.
fun.
It was good fun. I loved the beginning.
I like what Sith Care Bear said. It says he felt definitely captured the essence of the source material while bringing some fresh ideas and imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because as creators, we are, and that's the thing about the sequels, or excuse me, about the the sequel trilogy and everything else that they've been creating. The fact is that no matter what, if it's not going to be George Lucas making it, it is going to have a somewhat different vibe to it. And that's not necessarily bad. It's just the problem with a lot of the Star Wars stuff is they're changing the lore. So there's a difference between, like Andor, for example, very different vibe. Okay. I'm not necessarily fond of it, but I do appreciate the creativity that's going along with it. It's just an unnecessary show, in my opinion. But
yeah,
you're gonna have
definitely. I don't think Andor has a Lucas vibe, in my opinion.
And that's hard to do because I don't know many of the newer stuff have it, except for even Mandalorian was different. To me, Mandalorian was the closest, but even Mandalorian was very different.
Well, see, what was nice about the Mandalorian, though, it was like different characters all together, but you still could tell it was in the same realms, or like the essence was kind of similar.
It didn't steer too far out into its creativity that it forgot its roots. And that's what I love about the Mandalorian, at least seasons 1 and seasons 2. Everything else is tried really hard to go in a different direction, it seems. I feel like Boba Fett tried to remember its roots, but at the same time kick dirt on the roots.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Just Boba Fett wasn't really Boba Fett anymore.
That makes total sense, Vader. He says the opening sequence from the fighters to the platform sequence was the final thing we completed on the movie. So we also had more resources to work with at that point. I will say, you've heard me say it numerous times. My favorite portion of this film is definitely the beginning. I really enjoyed it. Really did.
I like what Celebrity Jerry said. Bob's
Boba
fat
Fett's
and
amnesia. Bless his heart. I agree with so many people. Why could they not have gotten the dude who played
the little
young
kid that played,
young Boba Fett? Why could they not get him to be this Boba Fett?
Right, exactly my opinion as well.
But that's okay.
It would have been cool because he's younger, more
fit,
kind of more fit and everything. Yeah. I mean, I understand they got this dude because he still looks like himself, kind of.
Well, no, but the thing is, here's the issue. Boba Fett should have just kept his freaking helmet on, and we would never have to worry about what his face looked like.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing is, too, is that the original Boba Fett was slim anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So his physique, Daniel Logan, thank you. His physique would have worked out just as fine. Shave his head, for crying out loud. Just have a couple of shots of the back or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it would have totally worked. I do not think anybody would have complained, even if they would have shown his face. Everybody would have known who he was anyway. I think they would have been really excited to see this kid back in Star Wars as Boba Fett because he is Boba
Fett. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Just saying. But we talked all about the Book of Boba Fett. If you're curious to know our in-depth thoughts about that film or that series, check it out. Scroll back a little bit. We had a lot of fun with that series. That episode is by far one of it is one of my favorite episodes that we have ever had here on Inside the Booth because we got a little crazy, got a little wild for sure with that one. And I literally laughed until I cried. And not the first time that's happened here. Hopefully not the last time, but definitely, I mean, I think I clocked it. I laughed for about 3 minutes. I couldn't speak for about 3 minutes, guys.
Yeah, it was good. It was
really great.
Check it out.
You should check it out. I will post it down here. Let me post it here if you ever want to check that out. Have fun. It was good.
Oh, nice. Oh, you found it already, huh?
Oh, jeez, lightning fingers.
Lightning bolt there.
So, but yeah, that would be our review for Fallen Jedi, the fan
Good job,
film,
Vader reviews. You enjoyed it. We're going to enjoy having the director of Fallen Jedi with us on Sunday. That'll be quite fun as well.
He could possibly change our minds about some of the things that we did not like about this, because sometimes if you know the story behind why somebody did something, it could change your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be exciting on Sunday.
Hey, look, George Lucas is here.
George Lucas is here. You should totally check out this film, George. I mean, they really tried to capture your spirit.
That's it. They definitely did try. Description. I mean, the link is in the description box below.
It sure enough is.
We put it in the chat somewhere. I didn't pin it at all, but it's in there.
It's somewhere. There. Don't worry. It's in the description box. We can't even find it.
If you want to watch Boba Fett stuff, look at that other one that Tyler just posted. That's fun too.
Absolutely.
So,
well,
yeah, I think that's about it, everybody.
That's about it. Once again, be sure to vanquish the like button. Subscribe if you're new here. We go live every Sunday and Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, we are. Got a great show planned for you on Sunday. Be sure to check out our shop in the description box down below as well. And check out the rest of our videos. We do some fun trailer reactions. We sprinkle those in between our live shows as well. And we like to have a good, fun time around these parts. So thank you for being inside the booth with us.
That's it. Thank you. Do you have a goodbye video you'd like to share?
A goodbye video? Let's have a look. I think that we need to see Dan spit, everybody. Good night. Have a great evening.
That's about it, but no point. And I'm sticking to it. Oh my god, he just spit on my